Hi, I'm Monica, and I'm discussing my curriculum bag. Where did I donate my curriculum bag? I donated it to the place I observe and work at in my classroom. And what was your curriculum bag made from, and how did you organize the contents? I just made, I guess like a grocery bag kind of, like the reusable cat bags, and I put in all the materials on how to make the bag. Inside, I had borax, like detergent stuff, and I had glue, and I had clear glue, white glue as well, and I put a few things of Dawn soap, food coloring, and materials to make the actual play materials. And then I also donated the web discovery bin that I actually made myself, which is attached to the bag. So the play materials that I did was things that you actually had to make, and they were sensory. One of the first ones that I did, sorry, it was a good paper, is the web discovery bin. And that's a laundry bin that has string in it, and it's tied all off. And then the teacher can put in additional toys inside the bin. And the second play material I did is soap foam. And the soap foam is made out of Dawn soap, and it uses a blender. And then you just make the foam and you put food coloring inside. The third one is slime, which is made out of the borax and glue. And the other one is sensory bags, which is storage bags filled up with water. And you can add additional material as glitter, food coloring, and stuff like that. Small objects, magnets, whatever. What contents make up your play material? I just want to discuss that basically. What are the age groups for the materials for? I picked infants. And why are the age group appropriate? It's because I did these materials are used to making product of the product are made by the teacher prior use. Each play material is presented to the bag. The children will be watched with care. And I made sure that the materials were made prior to, and I noted that as I said how and why materials are safe for this age group. And the materials are sensory materials. And so everything that they can touch and feel and explore through their senses. Let's see. What is the topic of interest? My topic of interest is sensory. And let's see. How are the materials safe? I just basically said they were safe because the teacher will make it prior to use. With the 4 play materials. So the activities that I use to make with these 4 play materials, one would be, the contact area for this one, which is the web discovery bin. The first activity is for toys and games, and it's titled Activity Search and Find. And I basically wanted them to use hand-eye coordination, gross and fine motor skills in order to problem solve and be able to discover objects and the way how to reach in and pull out objects and through small spatual holes. Then I have another one. The second one for that play material is an art content area, which I use the web discovery bin, and I put paper inside the bin. And then what would happen is that the kids would use paint brushes that have paint on it, markers, whatever art material you would like to use. And they would stick their hands through the hole slots and create a piece that way. And now for the second one, we'll go into hold on, I'm flipping through the whole thing, is slime. So the second play material is slime. The first activity I did, the contact area was mathematics, and I titled the activity Slimy Cups and Spoons. And basically what the kids do with this is they are able to explore the slime, which is made prior to, and it could be for a number of use of kids. And the children get to manipulate the slime itself, and then they also get to play with the added materials and see volume changes from the material itself. They get to fill spoons, and they get to scoop it in and scoop it out and dump it out and see what it creates. And then the second one activity for that one is slime, and the content area is discovery. And discovery title of activity is what slime can do. And while I was doing the actual activity during the semester of the class, I discovered that slime can take up to properties and different properties of that. Like once we filled up a cup, it became a solid, and it dispersed on the table once it was left for a couple minutes. And this way the children can explore the slime and its contents itself. And let's see, next would be sensory bags. So the sensory bags are just storage bags filled with water. And this content area, once again, is discovery. And I titled this one activity, what can we do with water? And basically it does I wrote for goals and objectives on this part. The play material will be used as a sensory play material. They will use the sensory bags filled with water to explore the cause and effect of their actions. They will use fine motor skills, gross motor skills, and use hand-eye coordination as well as explore quantities while they gain knowledge of multiple learning areas. All this does is basically, while they're playing with water, they get to see their hands move. They get to see the way that the water moves inside the bag and the cause and effect of their actions. When I slap the bag, maybe when I grip the bag, does the water change? The water disperse differently? And then you can add additional materials, add food coloring, add glitter, add numbers and stuff like that. And you can basically see them floating around. Do they float? Do they sink? And stuff like that. When I hold the bag, when I, move the bag around, what happens to the bag? And that's what we're discovering. And then the second activity for that one is literacy. And I did the title of activity for this literacy one for the same sensory bags. What letters do you see? This one helps with cognitive development and literacy and language skills. I also touched upon social, emotional, and physical development as well, and science and technology. So, they basically, I'm asking them, what letters do you see? An open-ended question. Maybe they respond, maybe they don't. At this age, infants aren't. But I can then apply what I've known, and I can say, oh, there's the A, or do you see a D? And then point out the D's so they get a reference to those letters. And next, soap foam. Soap foam was my last one, and I did a content area for this one is mathematics, and I have the title is how much foam is in that foam. And the play material will be used as sensory play material once again, and it's to explore mathematical elements and quantities and measurements, and the use of the fine motor and gross motor, and using hand-eye coordination and explore quantities while they gain knowledge of multiple learning areas. And this is the same thing as kind of like the slime, but this is different consistency. It's made out of foam and soap and water, and they can watch it. You can pick it up and how much fills a cup or how much fills a spoon, and then you can watch it how it disperses into water like a liquid. So now I have my last play material, or my last activity through the play material, I should say. Let me get this page. This one is soap foam in its art form. And what can we do? What can we create with soap foam? And the play material will be used as sensory play material. Once again, they will be playing with its soap foam to explore children's creative side. They will use fine motor skills, gross motor skills, and using hand-eye coordination to make their own picture using foam as paint while they gain knowledge in the multiple areas. I got this idea with the thought of, I don't know if anyone's seen this, but like when you blow bubbles in milk and you add food coloring, you put paper on top, it creates a picture on the back. So I assumed that we could do the soap foam, and I can have children, take the paper, and I can show them, like, I'll put the paper on top, I take the paper away, what do I have on the picture, and let it dry, basically. And then it forms their own picture. And this can be used with multiple pictures and multiple colors of piece of paper. So then that was it for that. What are the content areas which I went over? Each content area had to do with either discovery, mathematics, art, and I think literacy as well. So those are the 4 different areas I picked. What are your goals and objectives for each activity? I just read them all for you, and what materials will you need for each activity? And for each activity, I stated before, you need, borax, and you need the glue, and you need storage bags, and you need water, and additional materials like playthings. For the web discovery bin, you might need little cars, you might need blocks, you might need letters. Those also can go into your sensory bags things. Everything's all interchangeable. You need food coloring, everything like that. And additional material for the teacher to bring is paper, paint, stuff like that. When you do the web discovery bin, you need the paper and you need the paints for them to do the art part. And then for literacy, you maybe need magnets, which is additionally in the bags. Or you can use stickers. You can do anything like that. How can you carry out each activity? So for each activity, it's different for carrying out, but it's very similar because they're exploring. Your first one, the first activity, which is goals and objectives, basically cognitive, materials needed, directions. Make the play material, take the storage bin or basket that has holes, place the strings. This is how to make it, basically. And try tying knots. This is if you want to make a different one, because I provided one already. The game is this is the one web discovery bin which I had the concept area as a game, toys and games. Have the children sit around the bin. Let the children know that their rules and objective to the game which is basically problem solve. Get the object out, and how can we do that? Gather the toy that is told, whether it be the color by a name or actual toy named. So you can change this with the object of the game. I could say, let's grab a red toy. This will imply if I had like 2 red toys or 1 red toy, or maybe there's only just 1. Maybe there's 3. And it allows the children to see those red toys and then pick that one, or pick the blue truck, or pick the ball without color or anything, and then they find a ball. And just to understand, what I'm asking them to do. You cannot try to grab the toy unless I say go. This implies, them to listen to directions. You will only have 2 minutes to grab the toy out of the web. You can set a time limit for it. You need to problem solve by solving how you will enter the web and grab the toy out of the web. Whoever grabs the toy object first wins the round. You have multiple winners if you choose. This will imply that everyone has won once they have achieved the goal. For the second one, so the web discovery with the art, which is exploring web painting. And this objective was to, to have the experience of creative development is the highlight. And to carry this one out, you will need to take the storage bin, put water, paper in it, and you then basically have the children use the bin and paint. I said cover multiple paintbrushes, different sizes with paint and multiple colors. So they can use like a big paintbrush. How can I get the big paintbrush into the small hole? How can I get the small paintbrush into the big hole? Like, what is the reference in the spatial learning when it is accompanied by that? And the invitation is just have the children sit around the bin. Let the children know that the rules and the objective of the invitation is. And show the children how to use the paintbrushes and the web discovery bin, and have children explore the paintbrushes and the bin on their own. Let the children create their own masterpiece, basically, once you have showed them initially how you want them to use it. And let's go to the third one. So the slime is another one, and it was mathematics, and slimy cups and spoons. This objective was basically about quantities. And so basically how to create the play material is add 4 ounces of water of white glue to a bowl, add 4 ounces of warm water. Add food coloring if you like, and then separate in a separate container, add 1 cup of warm water and 1 teaspoon of borax. And you stir it, and then you basically put them together and knead it till it makes a slime feel. And then so the play material, you break up the slime into individual piles for numbers of children. There's no limit of children to have at this activity. Place the material in front of the children at the table. Have the children stand at the table with the play material. I had the children stand because at that point I wanted them to work on gross motor skills. You could also have them sit, which is a different gross motor skill. Let the children manipulate the play material by itself. Add additional materials that you can use to manipulate the play material. like measuring spoons and measuring cups. That's why I had the name of Slimy Cups and Spoons. Show the children how you can use each tool. Fill the cup, scoop up the cup, dump the cup. Ask the children to see the difference in what you're doing. Point out the difference, and you'll fill by counting how many spoons are needed to fill one cup. Let them explore the play material and additional materials on their own. Ask open-ended questions as they play with the play material. All right, now moving on to the second slime, which I did the content area, was discovery. And this goal was basically to see the different physical properties that the slime can take, which added a very good science element. To carry this one out, it is the same exact one as the last one. But you basically are bringing it down more by asking more open-ended questions on what we're observing at the time. So break up the slime into individual pieces and number the children. There's no limit. Place the material in front of the children on the table, and then show them first how the slime moves through your open fingers and hands. Ask, what do you think will happen? Show them how it moves. At the edge of the table, ask, will it stay as a ball? Will it fall off? Will the slime expand? Like my fingers? Show them how it takes shape with a measuring cup. Ask them, will it stay as a liquid? Will it form shape? What do you think will happen? This all asks about scientific inquiry during this time. Let the children manipulate the play material by itself. Add additional materials. Once again, like the slimy spoons activity. And then show the children how they can use these tools and enhance their learning experience. Let them explore it on their own with and without the spoons and measuring cups. And continue to ask open-ended questions while you're observing them. Next one is discovery, which is sensory bag, and its content area is discovery. And I wanted to see them explore the water and the cause and effect of their actions. And I basically had them to make the discovery bag. You open the storage bag, put in water. I said 3/4 cup of the bag full because you don't want too much so it won't have enough movement in the bag. And basically place food coloring in the bag and place small objects in the bag. And I said basically place the bag on the table or level up the children and show the children what is expected of them. Demonstrate exploring the bag. Ask open-ended questions. Wow, did the water move when I poked the bag? Have them explore the bag on their own, and as they explore, highlight the cause and effects as they manipulate the bag itself. Then it goes into same thing, sensory bag, and it's the literacy part, and I just added literacy like letters basically into it. And I said place the bag, once again at a child's level or on a table. Show the child what's expected. Demonstrate the exploring the bag, like poking it and manipulating it. Then I said ask open-ended questions. Start the process of scientific inquiry and cause and effects of their movements. Where is the letter A? Where is the letter B? Can we find the letters in the name? And this, not necessarily at this age, at infants, will they know which letters are which. But this can help them, gain knowledge in that area. That when I spell my name, it's, spelled with an M, an O, an N, anything like that. Which just starts their, literacy journey. So soap foam, next one. This was mathematics, and basically the whole thing was about quantities and measurements. And I basically had them to make the actual soap foam. I said place a cup of soap in the blender, place half a cup of water, turn it on, add food coloring to it. To carry it out, make the soap foam, put the bin full of soap foam on the floor or children's level. Let them explore the foam itself before adding additional materials. Introduce a spoon and then introduce a cup. Show them how to fill the cup and how to fill a spoon. Show them how to dump it out. While they explore filling, dumping, learning about quantities, ask them open-ended questions, and then let them explore it on its own. And once again, I like to highlight what they're doing and basically say, are you dumping it out? Are we filling the cup? It just adds more to what they're doing. And the last one, which was soap foam again, and it was the art area. And this was to do, enhance their creative side. And like I said before, it had to do with the milk that I saw. Like when you blow bubbles and you put paper on it and then you take it off, there's a print of bubbles on there, and it leaves an image itself with the food coloring. So it's the same idea. So you just take them of the soap foam and then you place the bin, the soap foam at children's level, and you place paper on top of the foam or scoop foam onto the paper around the tub. Blow off the rest of the foam and pick up the piece of paper. Ask them what they see and give each child their own piece of work. Let them explore making their own artwork. And then they can obviously use different types of paper and see the effects of that. Or they could use different colors of paper and see the effects of that. So basically, how does each activity further children's learning connected to the goals and objectives? I had explained that multiple different times. Through the literacy sensory bag, I said basically that you could connect it by having their name and recognizing those letters and asking open-ended questions. The soap foam, you have a process to that. And what happens when I do this? Or what happens when I fill this cup up? Same thing with slime. If I make this into a little ball, does it stay into a ball or does it expand on the table and change properties? What do we see when something occurs? Same thing with the water bags. What happens when my cause and effects of actions change? Does the water change? Does the movements of the water change? Does things move around? Do they stay? It adds in different senses of scientific inquiry, basically, through all these activities and our actions. So basically that's it, and those are all my different activities planned for the 4 different play materials, and I hope you enjoy this, and thank you.